Good morning, good morning, good morning. Guys, come on in, come on in. I hope everyone is having an awesome morning this Friday morning. And if you're not, just shake it off and ask God to keep you going. Shake it off. Ask Him to just help you with whatever you got going on. Because it's not that serious. If you woke up this morning, everything else should be great, regardless of what you're feeling or how you're hurting. Anywho, let me go ahead and get the business of those like buttons. Guys, hit those like buttons when you come in. Just think about the movie Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. Long, long time ago. Remember when he had to go in, he had to rub that podum and he was like, "Do you want the night?" Anyway, you know what I mean. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Please subscribe and turn on that notification bell. They both are free. There's no cost to you. And also, if you could share this on your page or if you have a channel, friends, coworkers, or anyone, I would appreciate it. And drop your comments below. You see the banner scrolling along. It clearly states that this is fair use, celebrity news reporting, teaching, and all that good jazz. And this the Copyright Act. We can't forget that of 1976. Everything that I state over here is allegedly, and it's always in my opinion. So, guys, I'm quite sure you've heard of Dolly Parton. She is an legend, an icon, staple in the country music world. Also in film, in movies and everything. So, she was given really, I would say her opinion, but she was saying some things. She was actually, oh, let me do this real quick before I forget. I want to give a huge shout out to Miami Herald. That's where I actually seen the article. So I want to give a huge shout out to the Miami Herald. And I also want to give a shout out to the person that wrote the article. Sometimes I forget to do that, but it's really important. Sarah Vallone. Sarah Vallone, that's who wrote it. So, anywho, she's given her opinion on the Cowboy. What is it called? Yeah, the Cowboy Carter's album that Beyonce put out back in March. She released and went over to the countryside for a moment. I'm not sure how long she's going to stay there, but let me just go ahead and get through what you know Dolly Parton was saying on her interview. She said the album features several established country artists and a few legends, including Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, who voiced was featured on the album. That's what Sarah had wrote. So they asked Dolly Parton also allowed Beyonce to, pretty much sample her hit song Jolene for the album. So, and then if anybody know Dolly Parton, it's her song Jolene, 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 Jolene. Y'all know I can't sing, but I love that song. But anywho, I love country music. I grew up, being a country girl. So, woo, going to rodeos and everything. Every once in a while, y'all can hear that little southern twang come out. But let me keep going because I get sidetracked real quick. So, Dolly Parton, allowed her to use it. So this is where the interview comes in. In June, an interview with E! News, Parton said she thought it was very bold of Beyonce to switch up the icon Jolene lyrics. When they said she was going to do Jolene, I expected it to be my regular one, but it wasn't. Um, but it wasn't. She told E. For me, now I'm stop reading it right now. For me, I'm not gonna read too much into it, but anytime somebody writes a song and it's such a staple song that has went through the decades, it sounds like she didn't really put any type of emphasis that she wanted the song to stay as the original. And maybe she should have said that, but it's done now. So, anywho, Albert, I mean, not Albert. It's the name is called is Abbott. Surprised, that partner admitted she loved what she did to it. So Dolly Parton admitted she loved what Beyonce did to the Jolene, the song Jolene. As a songwriter, you love the fact that people do your songs, no matter how they do them. You just love it, as long as they do justice to it. She didn't say that. I said that. As long as your person do justice to it, I'm quite sure the songwriter and the artist wouldn't mind. So, anywho, going back to the interview, and it says now in the interview with Variety, Parton is sharing her thoughts on Beyonce's album not receiving any Country Music Association awards nominations, despite Cowboy Carter being eligible. Well, you never know, Parton said, when it comes to the nominations. And the Country Music Association is for short for the CMAs. They just spelled it out for the people who are not familiar with it. So, Dolly Parton went on to say, there are so many wonderful country artists. She continued that I guess probably the country music field, they probably thought, well, we can't really leave out some of the ones that spent their whole life doing that. And listen, I concur with what she's stating. I'm not saying that that the album shouldn't have been recognized, but when you step out into a new lane, that's just like if somebody's leaving country going over to R&B. Um, you may you may have to realize that even though it's a hit or whatever it is, you have to put your dues in. And I know you're gonna probably say, well, she put her dues in. She put her dues in the R&B sector, not in the country music sector. So, there's a lot of people have been doing country music just like in R&B. So, do I feel that she should have at least been nominated? I don't know. I can't say a yes or a no on that because of the fact that you can't just step over other people who have had great songs. She may have came in and knocked it out the park, and I know her sales were very high, but sometimes you just can't leave a bad taste in other people's mouth as well. That's my opinion. Um, so anywho, however, Parton did not realize the Cowboy Carter did not receive any CMA nominations until after she was asked about it. It was a wonderful album. She can be very, very proud of, Parton said. I think everybody in country music welcomed her and thought that that was good. So I don't think it was a matter of shunning out, like doing that on purpose. She continued telling Variety, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess the way, if you want to really read it, I'm interpreting it this way. Everybody can interpret the way they want to interpret it. I'm interpreting, in my opinion, and it's alleged, like, okay, they welcome her, they didn't shun her. I mean, they have been known to do that. They don't really, they're a close knit family over in the country music sector, but they didn't shun her. So, I'm paraphrasing. So I think they didn't do it on purpose. Like she said, they didn't shut her. They welcomed them. That's her thoughts on it. I mean, country music is a whole, it's not too much different from R&B. It's a lot of soul into it, but it's like they if they do nitpick over there, we don't hear it over on the R&B side. I don't hear it. You know what I'm saying? So moving on, honey. Moving on. Dolly Parton said she's a country girl in Texas and Louisiana. Parton told Variety of Beyonce, so she grew up with the bass. It wasn't like she just appeared out of nowhere. Post Malone has loved country music his whole life. And then I got to do the duet with him on his album, and I think it's a fantastic album. I thought both of these albums were great. Okay, she was, and it says as the person asked Dolly Parton, and as far if she and Beyonce will ever perform Jolene live together, Dolly Parton said, "Oh yeah, I'm open to anything." You know, I mean, Dolly Parton is open. Think that, she clearly liked the album. I mean, one thing about her, she's never in any drama. Um, and I think she spoke from the heart. So, it's just, I don't think you can read anything into it. I think she spoke how she felt. And, unfortunately, that the stuff that people go through on the R&B side when Beyonce, gets all these accolades and Grammys and rewards and all this stuff. That's the same way, unfortunately, she had to go through on the country music side because people have put a lot of work and been doing country music all their life, just like she's been doing R&B all their life. I don't know if she would feel any type of way if somebody come from country and have the breakout album. And I think this is mostly about the nomination. I don't think it's even about her winning an award. I think, most of the interviewers' comments stem from they feel like she was being shunted. I don't know if that's what was happening because, I've seen, people get shunned in that genre. So I don't think that's what it was, or is. So that's my opinion on it, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, you guys like this video, share this video. Don't forget to comment below, and guys, have a great Friday. Peace and soul. Mwah.